Alright, so first like step I said, I praise the Yahweh Bashim Al Shai, Bashim Kakadash, the honors to the elders and apostles that were well, and salutations to the brothers sisters in truth and sincerity. As you can see, the title of this video is At Least 35 Dead, 134 Injured After Airstrikes on Yavoriv Military Base. So I'm going to go ahead and play the clip, and then I got one more clip to play that I'm add some precepts.
Breaking news on the war front this morning. Russia has escalated this war in a major way, conducting missile strikes overnight, targeting a base that is 12 miles from Ukraine's border with the NATO ally Poland. That base is also known as the International Peacekeeping and Security Center. It regularly hosts NATO instructors, soldiers, and drills. It's 20 miles northwest of Lviv, which is a city we've been reporting from that has been considered safer, where refugees from central and eastern Ukraine have been fleeing. Many of our reporters have been reporting from there. In fact, we're going to go there very shortly. In this attack overnight, at least 35 people were killed, 134 injured in western Ukraine near the NATO border. Notably, it's part of a pipeline which NATO and other foreign countries use to funnel weapons and other aid into Ukraine, a pipeline which Russia said yesterday was fair game to attack, and those attacks seem to have begun.
Making reportedly slow progress on major fronts, Russia has widened its war on Ukraine. The missiles that fell on a military training center near Yavoriv in the far west killed dozens, soldiers and cadets that Russia claims were foreign-trained fighters preparing to enter the war. Just a few months ago, joint military exercises took place here, Ukrainian troops alongside allies from 14 countries. Yet now they're having to fight and die in this war, largely alone. Scores more were injured in the most devastating single attack so far, and with worrying implications for supply routes delivering humanitarian and military aid.
The war has now come to western Ukraine, and with it a sense that perhaps nowhere in this country is safe. But of larger significance is the fact that not just the country's main supply routes are now vulnerable, not just the main avenues of escape for hundreds of thousands of refugees have now become vulnerable, but the fact that the war has now come within 20 kilometers or so of a NATO border.
In Yavoriv on Sunday morning, Anna woke to the sound of explosions.
I thought someone was breaking into the house. We went outside and the whole sky was red.
We met Anna at a fuel stop, her pregnant daughter, a niece and her grandchild in the car, making a dash for the Polish border.
At home, my sick father, a husband and a brother-in-law stayed behind. I would pick up arm myself and fight, but we have to save our children.
And once again calls for NATO to intervene to enforce a no-fly zone over Ukraine.
Rockets have fallen 10 kilometers from the border with Europe. Tomorrow they may fall 10 kilometers on the other side in Poland, where our wives and children are now. I call on Europe. Save yourselves. Save us, because tomorrow it will be too late.
But NATO continues to have no appetite to confront Russia directly as the war grinds on. In cities like Chernihiv in the north. Steady nerves required here to remove an unwelcome delivery through someone's front window. Civilians, those brave or desperate enough to attempt escape, continue to leave areas close to Kyiv like Irpin, where an American journalist was killed when he and a colleague were fired on by Russian forces. And no respite yet again for Mariupol. Satellite images show swathes of destruction in the southern city, besieged for 2 weeks, the life being strangled out of it, an aid convoy once again prevented from entering. There is one constant, the inexhaustible, morale-boosting, Russia-defying presence of a comedian who once played the role of president on TV, now handing out medals and giving the performance of his life. Jonah Hall, Al Jazeera, Yavoriv.
Alright, so I'm going to start with this precept. It's Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 1. It says, "To everything there's a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven." And I'm going to jump to verse 8. "A time to love and a time to hate. A time of war and a time of peace." Right, and we're living in a time of war right now. Even though this is happening in Ukraine and various other places in the Middle East, eventually the U.S. is going to be getting involved, and the rest of the nations or the rest of the world is going to get involved, which is the Battle of Armageddon, according to the Bible. So ain't no time to get comfortable. This is and this is the Lord doing this, man. It's not these people. Everybody is acting out what they're supposed to be acting out before Yahushua comes. This is Proverbs 21:1. "The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord, as the rivers of water. He turneth it whithersoever he will." Right, so the Lord is controlling Putin, and these presidents and these high official guys, making them move the way he wants them to move, just as well as the low man on the totem pole, so to speak. Slack, give me 1 second. Proverbs chapter 20, verse 24. "Man's goings are of the Lord Yahweh. How can a man then understand his own way?" Right, so ain't nobody doing what they want to do. There's no such thing as free will for nobody. Man, woman, child. Give me 1 second. Second Ezra chapter 15, verse 5. "Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled." Right, man, so this wickedness is going on all over this world, man. From the LGBT community to the witchcraft, etc. And the Lord, like, man, time's up, basically. Y'all done all that y'all can do. So this second Ezra chapter 8, verse 50, it says, "For many great miseries shall be done to them that in the later time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride." And the Lord doesn't deal with people in their pride, man. Scriptures say pride is hateful before men, and pride leadeth to destruction. In the LGBT community, it's all about pride. America is all about pride. you know, and everybody follows the philosophies of America, because this place doesn't have script like the Bible said, Hosea 4:1. There's no knowledge of the Lord in the land, man. Not just here in America though. It's everywhere. So that's why they got so many miseries, all this death, them having to starve, not having any water, not having daily basic supplies that they need, to survive and whatnot. So everybody's we're at the time of everybody's getting their judgment, man. So, but with that being said, call all Yahweh Shema Shai, double honors to the elders and apostles that rule well, and salutations to the brothers that's doing the truth and sincerity. Shalom.